Hello and welcome to Echoes Talk. Can I get a mic check, please, for myself and others?
Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hello.
Can we hear everyone? Everyone's got it. 420J gives us the yes and the E. Everyone E. Sup? Hi Zoltan, how you doing, man? What's up, Booker T? DG's in the chat as well. If Hope, hey, what's up? Bad Dragon, sounds like shit. Always, thank you, my love. You're a beautiful man. Hugasa, you're clear. Thank you. Lead Writer, thank you for watching. Banana Kaldari. What? Oh god, Fox was jumping straight in with the banana. What the hell is chimpanzee? What the hell is a chimpanzee? Am I missing something? Sounds horrible. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about scams, everything scam related. If you've been scammed, if you've scammed other people, I'm pretty sure all four of us here are actually empathetic. We haven't scammed anyone in particular. We've all been scammed though. All four of us have been scammed, especially in the beginning days. Well, I am a scam. I'm a local chat scam, and you should avoid everything to do with local chat scams, all right? Sam hasn't been heard if you try to say something. Sam, do you want to say something again, please, sir?
Yep, I am saying something.
Let's turn him up a little bit. There we go. Doomsy.
Yep.
Got it. Avoid local chat scams, Mr. Eisenhorn. Yes, you can. Right, so we're going to get straight into the actual meat and potatoes of the actual stream today. So we're going to go through all the different kinds of scams that there are, and we're also going to go through what sort of limitations ECHOESTALK has in relation to scams, because of obviously having the audit system and having other holding systems and stuff. But it doesn't stop scamming, but it really slows it down. So like you could be waiting for God knows how long for your ill-gotten gains, or very small chance of losing your account for scams because they may see it as something bad on the audit systems. So if we go through what different types of scams there are, we have contract scams, which is like a group of blueprints. You'll have different kinds of blueprints in there, and they'll have a 10 material efficiency, 10, I forgot what the other efficiency is called because I haven't slept in 3 days. Time efficiency, there we go, Sam, the industrial man. And you have 10-10, which is the level of how good it is, and 10 is the maximum, and you'll have 10-10 at the top for one of them. You'll have 5 others of the same blueprint, all with 1-1, so they're really not worth anything. The 10-10 is worth a lot, so they'll sell you it for 200 million ISK when the actual list is probably worth 1 million. So that's what happens when you don't check the contract. And you also have things like skins. They can screw you over skins. I know Sam knows a little bit something about the skins one. Was it your skin? Was it you that knows about the skins? The skin scam?
Not me. I think it must have been either DG or Doomsday.
I think it might have been. It might have even been me.
I was hit with a container scam.
This container scams.
I don't even know how you did it, honestly. I tried.
The one scam that I got hit by was on the, so you got the local chat scams, which have your fire sales, people pretending they're quitting. They pretend they quit the game, and they sort of give you a contract of a list of all of this is all my stuff, I'm leaving, take it for 1 billion ISK, and it's not worth anything, but a lot of people still do it. They wouldn't spam the local chat if they weren't getting anything out of it. There's still people that do it even 17 years later. And then you have the multiple contracts sort of scam, where they'll put up a contract and it has what you want in it, and then they'll show you it and you'll go, oh yeah, I'll take that one, but it's not, but you can't accept it. Then they put up in private message the contract with the name of something on it. You click on that contract, accept it, and it turns out it's a container or 1 plex instead of 100 plex, for example. That's a very common one, and one that literally gets most people. And then you have obviously we talked about, me and Sam, we talked about the long con, which is kind of a scam, but it's not. It's more of corp theft type stuff, where you're stealing money from wallets by becoming an officer and getting the trust of people, etc. And then you've got the market sell or market buy scam, which is the one that I got done for, which is I really got done for this one. I bought a So a person goes on a market, they have a buy order and a sell order. Their sell order is for really cheap on an item, and they'll have a buy order for 4 or 5 times that amount. So it's not cheap as in like 100k ISK. It'll still cost 100 million or 500 million, and then they'll have a buy order somewhere else at another station for 1 billion. So you look at it and you go, oh, that might be a good price, like a Dead Space item or something like that. And then you go in there and you'll buy it and you'll check it on the other system. Oh, look, someone's trying to buy this for $1 billion. I'll get it. So you buy it, you fly over to the station, and they've cancelled the buy order. So you literally just bought something worth 2 million ISK for 500 million because you didn't check it. That's always a nice one. Sam, if you want to go over the corp fee and asset scam, sir.
So corp fee and asset scam that we've got. Join a corporation. When you join a corporation, you're told you have a fee, and when you go for it, they say, "Okay, cool. You're at Nosek, excellent. So just contract all your stuff that you need to get moved out to our courier guy. Hey, we don't offer because our guys don't have much cash on hand. We don't put up collaterals on our moving contracts. So just put everything at zero collateral." And then push it through to the moving guy. He'll have them there, when you arrive. So he sets up all the contracts, and lo and behold, he's paid his fee. He's contracted all of his gear at zero collateral. The courier contracts have been accepted. He's been kicked from corp. Oh, why did he not pass a security check? Oh, I'm sorry. Contracts cancelled.
You bastard. And I bet you've done that as well. You look like you got a smug look in your face.
No. I've never done that. I haven't even been. I haven't been subject to that one either. I heard about some goons who might have done that.
Some goons, yeah. Goons do love a bit of that. They do love a bit of that. Speaking of goons, didn't they just get kicked out of Fountain?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up actually.
Kind of. Or was
the war is at a standstill. It's mostly a bunch of posturing and stancing, and it'll probably pop off once they reach Delve. But until the opposing reaches Delve, they're just staring at each other.
Oh god! So it's like every other war that's ever been on the Western server of EVE Online ever. Fantastic. People like so. When you hear about the wars in EVE Online, just a quick sidetrack, when you hear about the wars in EVE Online, you hear about the big bloody battles where thousands and thousands of dollars are lost, but that's like after 3 months of nothing happening in a war, and then the last day is the only fight that matters in the entire war. So it's like months at a time. But I suppose that's in like real life. Some wars are like that, where everything's built up and everyone's like, yeah, bashing their chest and shit.
Like what Alex said, there's a whole lot of like, haha, made you form up. Like they'll push towards the system and they'll wait until the enemy forms up, and then they'll all warp out and be like, I gotcha.
Yeah. And it's like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Just fight. It's a game. It's not fuck.
It's because wars are won and lost on player logging in and player retention. If you can convince all the players that it's no fun and they'll log off and they won't log back in again, then you win the war. But the other thing is, all of these big battles, they are never scripted. They are never. It's never a timer. It's actually always a mistake. The BTEC-R, someone didn't. Someone didn't fuel the station, so it went down or whatever. So it's like, it's always a mistake. Some Titan jumped in when they shouldn't have, when they should have bridged. That's always the start of a very, really big battle, when everyone's out of position and suddenly the objective has to be kept, and it's like no question. No holds barred.
Or someone doesn't pay rent is a very good point, Doomsy. I'm pretty sure, wouldn't that be a scam, what you've been trying to do to start your wars or cause your wars at the moment? Like the little foot in the door that you're doing at the moment? Trying to cause a war? Wouldn't that be counted as a scam?
Nah, wait, are we talking about EVE Echoes or EVE Online?
Both. If you're trying to start wars between two corps that are not your corp, would that be a scam, or what would you think that would be? Like, it's a scam on a grand scale.
I would call that subterfuge.
Yeah. True. Spies and subterfuge.
So let's go over each scam in EVE Online terms, and then EVE Echoes terms, and see if it's translatable.
Cool. Right. Do we miss? I think we missed one. The can flipping scam. Did we go through that one? That's a pretty important one.
I can't actually remember exactly how it works. Does anyone else know how the can flipping scam worked?
What, when you just put down a can that says something in it and someone comes over to loot it, gets the criminal status and gets blown out the sky?
Well, that's not quite. It was more about baiting someone's more expensive ship because they had the criminal timer. So you'd be in a cheap, crappy ship. You'd get something that's.
Oh, there he goes.
That's number one for the day. He'll be back in 2 seconds. We have 3 of them we have to get up. That's what
They
Sof
moved all
said. Yeah. So literally I'm half in one and half in the other. Scam hammer. He got Zelda bait. Yeah. Zelda bait. Can't get over there. Oh, he's back. He's back. Number one. It's like, I swear, all the Eve Echoes like panel stuff and all the Eve Echoes streams and everything always come up with some technical issues. Like all of them. Apart from doozies.
So you're in a cheap ship with something valuable in your hold. You jettison it, and someone else comes across and tries to grab it.
Yep.
They grab it, get the criminal timer. Then you go off, get something more powerful, come back and blow them up because they've got a criminal timer now. That's kind of what I was thinking, but I can't quite remember the details about how that ship doesn't just walk away and just if off with the expensive stuff.
Well, because guns, probably gate guns, and they can't block at stations because of the criminal timer, so they're stuck in system. Usually, if they know what they're doing, they'll fly to planets and they'll fly from planet to sun until the timer's gone, so you don't get caught. But some people who don't know the game as well will be sitting there like, why can't I do anything? Why can't I go through this gate? Why can't I do blah blah blah? Why can't I dock at the station? And then you fly over, boom, dead. That's like stealth bombers on grid with the can. Didn't they fix that in EVE Online? But that is a thing in EVE Echoes. The on-grid cans.
Yeah,
like, you can actually.
Whenever someone takes your can now, it'll mark that person as red and give you options to fire on them, even if you're in high sec, so you know when someone flips you.
That is absolutely beautiful. But you can do it in. I don't think there's a criminal timer for jet cans yet. I think we tested it in EVE Echoes. I don't think that it is actually possible to can flip. If you drop a can in high sec, it can't be looted by another player. Unless there was an issue where they couldn't actually loot the can in high sec. That may have been fixed during the test. This was right at the beginning in the localization stuff. So I'm not sure if it was fixed in the final test. Someone might be able to do that. High sec can't be looted, correct. And then you have the cans that come off the PP, which cannot be looted in high sec, but can be looted in null sec and low sec. I heard tell of jet cans sitting next to gates. When people would loot from them, they'd get a criminal timer, and get wasted by the gate, and then someone will come flying in with a T1 industrial, pick up all your shit and fly off again. Because you were blown up by Concorde, I guess the loot becomes free for all? I'm not sure, I can't remember. I've never been a high sec pirate, so I have no idea.
Anyone with a combat timer usually is loot free for all.
Cool. Concordoken. There's always that one. So the can flipping currently will not translate to EVE Echoes, which is not very good. Not very good at all. But the Corp fee asset scam, on the other hand,
won't translate. It might partially translate.
What makes it not work in EVE Echoes?
You'd have to make a contract to transfer the ISK, or you'd have to make them pay the corporation itself as a donation once they've joined. And you couldn't do a no collateral because you can't do contract. You can't do courier contracting on a private/custom basis.
But you could do it in the way, say for instance, you have a content creator like myself or a content creator like Benzi or other content creators could have a sign-up form saying if you donate to the Corp, you'll get an invite to the Corp, very limited spots. They could get overabundance of payments for joining the Corp and then just say, sorry, mate, there's no space there. That could be seen as a scam. Can
you donate to a Corp that you're not in?
No, but you can donate for a contract to the person themselves instead of actually trying to pay to the Corp. So like instead of...
I guess you could also contract to the Corp itself eventually when they set that up.
Yeah, that is a scam. By the way, guys, there's a 100,000 ISK entry fee into sovereign states directly payments to myself or Nina. Mainly Nina.
Interest to the
Only
corporation is not
100,000?
guaranteed.
Sorry, what'd you say? What'd you say? dude?
Interest to the corporation is not guaranteed.
Yeah. Entrance. Read the small print, guys. Read the small print. Kelbeck, you're a good guy. You're a nice guy. I don't want you to be bloodied or sullied by this horrible thing that we're about to do. You have to be the good guy. Otherwise,
I'd like to
there isn't
disclaim
one.
this entire stream to say we do not do this. We have not done this. We have barely been affected by this. We just know about it.
Kelbeck, you might be a bad guy, but we need to have one of the three leaders to at least have somewhat of a good side, all right? Didn't think so. Yeah, no, like literally scams for me, even though I know about scams because you've been playing for EVE for so long, I've never actually scammed anyone. I haven't even accidentally scammed anyone, or I've never been in a situation where a scam is... I've only ever been scammed once in the entire time I played, and I learnt from that, which is something that we'll talk about.
I have one that was it was a unique situation. I think probably 10 people on the planet can have this happen to them because it happened in real life with EVE Online. I had a buddy. I had like close to 4 trillion ISK, and I had a friend who was like, "Hey, you know, I really I want to play EVE Online, but I don't know what to do. Like, I want to build a ship." I was like, "Yeah, sure. Just go on my account. It's on the desktop over there. Just go and give yourself like 700 million. No big deal." He gave himself 70 billion.
Oy.
And I found out
Oy.
about a month later. I was going through my ledger because I had a physical ledger, and I was like, wait a second. And like I go all the way up, and I'm like, donation to XYZ, 70 billion ISK. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
Was he an actual
Oh,
newbie,
God.
or did he know?
he was not only not a noob, he'd been playing for over 10 years.
Oh god. So did he give it back? Did
No,
he know?
no, we laughed it off over drinks. We're still best friends in real life. It was just hilarious.
God. I thought the geezer actually robbed you blind.
If he robbed them blind, he'd do 4 trillion.
Yeah, just all of it, every single bit of it. That is a lot of money going in there. I actually have.
I find it funny that while you caught it, you didn't catch it for a while. It wasn't immediately obvious that you'd lost a decimal point more.
I only checked my ledger like once a month at most because I was doing so well. I was making so much ISK off of mining and operations and fleet missions and all that stuff. I was just like, eh. So once a month I'd go through and I'd just compare just to make sure I hadn't overpurchased, underpurchased, and like that because I also purchased for my entire corp. And when I did the audit that time, I was like, oh, I'll audit mine too. And while I was there, I was like, wait a second. This doesn't line up.
Where is this 70 billion ISK gone? It's just like, it's not exactly like, I mean, 7 billion, you might be able to be like, oh, something must have happened. Someone hasn't written down, or I haven't written down a certain thing. But 70 billion, you're going to write that shit down if that shit's gone. Like, you're going to write it down. I actually have so we'll go into one of the stories because we're talking about corpse right now. So one of the community stories, and this one's from Silver Dragoon. So like, I'm just going to read it for what it says on here, word for word for what he said. So he says, first one wasn't much as a scam, as much as it was a huge fail that blew up in the large alliance's face. So a co-CEO and I of Abaddon Rising, a small war deck pirate corp, was selling a few characters that we no longer needed on EVE Online forums for ISK years and years back. My friend Captain 69, I'm guessing that's not his actual name, that might be just like one of those names that he's putting in there so he doesn't get caught, had sold a character and chose to buy one that was being sold named Steve ID. Looked like a decent character build and he wanted to try something with a different skill set. So after buying it, he looked at the corp history and reapplied to the previous corp, explaining it was a mistake. They left and claimed it was his kid messing around on his account. Well, someone let the character back in and also gave the character their previous roles back as well. Apparently, this character's previous owner had a lot of access to the corp's wallet, not even just the corp's wallet, the whole entire alliance's funds on the different, like for everything that was in the corp, that was being in the holding corp, as well as the hangars, and he had jump clones near a bunch of the hangars that are holding all the stuff. So they hopped in TeamSpeak and they started working out a plan to take as much as they could, because that's what you do when you're a psychopath. Like, you get all that and you just steal it all, I guess, Silpha. And this guy's in my corp. How can I trust him to do fucking anything? Okay, so basically, He worked out a plan to get as much loot as they could before they figured out what happened. At this time, if he recalls correctly, this was a massive Care Bear alliance called the ISS, and here was billions of ISK in ships and modules, as well as the ISK from the Corp wallets in his grasp. So Captain 69 and I decided the best thing to do first was to jump cloning to the hangars, take all the ships, as many as you can, because I would do the same if I was to do it. I'd take the physical stuff first and then empty the wallet. So they started transferring the stuff into the hangars for each of the stations. Most of these ships were made for the military division to utilize during war deck defense, which was a big thing back in the day, not so much anymore. Like if you get war decked, you just don't undock in high sec. Just that now they don't really build it that way anymore. So they frantically moved as much stuff as quickly as possible while they laughed on comms about it. Why did he have to add that he laughed about it? Like, that's just rough. And finally, we took the entire wallet, but left one ISK in the Corp wallet. Just one singular ISK. And then they sat and waited. They waited for the actual Corp to start realizing that all of their stuff had gone. So once they enjoyed, they sent it to so when they changed the wallet change, they saw the wallet change immediately. The Corp began to explode with confusion. All their money was gone. The character was then kicked from the Corp straight away because they realized that the Steve ID guy had taken it. He's been demoted and kicked. And then they requested to join the chat channel. So like to get dragged into the chat channel. And then they got dragged into blah, blah, blah. But basically at the end, there's a lot more of the story where they're talking about talking to the Corp and they're trying to get the stuff back and they didn't give it back because they're bastards. Are you in the chat? Are you in the chat? Silpha, you're never being an officer. You're not
He can be an officer. He just can't be an officer if he leaves and comes back.
Oh, okay. You can never be an officer. Ever. No, he's the guy that wants to lead our pirate division of our Corp / Alliance. Like, he wants to have like his own thing on the one side. But I'm not letting it happen. Kelbeck, write that name down. Never. Make an alt quick.
So, would that translate into echoes? Yes.
I think that could translate into echoes if they add the withdraw function. But you can, by all means, empty the Corp hanger out. But if all the items in a Corp hanger is on hold, and you're having to wait 6 hours for all those ships, and you get kicked out before it gets taken, will the Corp hanger still be there?
See, they're on hold, but they're in your inventory on hold. So
True,
I feel like they're already gone,
and
you just can't do anything with them in your inventory until the timer.
I seem to remember them actually being... Sorry, go on, Dooms.
I wonder if that timer is a measure of like how long it takes to officially transport to your inventory, and then being in your inventory is a placeholder to let you know that it's on the way. Excuse me.
Yeah, because I actually...
Yeah, I guess the question is, like what happens if you're removed from Corp in the meantime? That's a good question. Something to test.
Oh, so they go into your hangar and then go on audit. I remember picking up a Harbinger out of the Corp hangar when we were making them, and I thought it was in the Corp hangar.
It's definitely in your ship hold at the time with the timer on it and locked.
Oh, so you can just straight rob everyone, and then they can sit there and just, you say, I've got all of your shit in 6 hours time, and make it worse because you haven't even got it straight away.
Yeah, but it might be that if you get kicked, it might auto revert, so we don't know. But yeah, quite possibly. Because we're trying to, like, is it a anti-scamming function or is it a anti-botting RMT function? What's the purpose of the timer? And in that way, how would it work? I say it's likely that it's all in your hangar and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's just a timer thing, just to see, like, so all of the holds, all of the audits, all of the time you have to wait and stuff like that. I think it's for RMT. I really do think it's for RMT, but not to stop it. Just to slow it down so that it would actually be quicker to make money in other games. I've said this 100 times already. Like a person who's making money is their job to farm ISK or gold or in other MMOs. They're going to make their money in an easier game than having to wait 6 hours each time for a ship to transfer. Like someone who wants to buy a ship from someone on a website isn't going to want to wait 12 hours for the shit they just bought. Like, it's just not going to happen.
secondarily, that also attracts them more because it gives them the right and reason to charge more per movement.
True.
Yep. That's the thing. Every roadblock to a scam is just a cost of business. You just up the value because if it affects a legitimate purpose, then it affects the scam purpose at the same time, then the cost goes up regardless. Therefore, it's just a cost of business for everyone, and therefore the scam just takes it into account.
What in the holy hell of lords was that in the background?
Minor birds.
Oh, it's like it sounded scary as hell. I thought you were about to die. I thought I was watching you about to die. That sounded pretty bad, man. What do you reckon?
I can see about 12 of them.
See, they're waiting for you, man. Have you seen that movie with the crows where they go around killing everyone? That's just messed up. DG,
I need to BRB.
Cool. DG, what's your thoughts on the scamming? You've got a story of scamming, haven't you, Sam?
Yeah, more corp espionage, getting in the long scam, right? The long game.
The long con.
Yeah, so take you back many years. Setting is in nullsec. We had a very relatively small corporation. We were paying rent, nothing crazy. We had a multi-boxer. He couple of miners. He was a hauler. Great jump freight skills. He's came to every operation. We used 4 to 6 hour operations on average, and we'd do them like every other week. We weren't super crazy, right? So this guy shows up repeatedly, on time, doing his job. Didn't talk a whole lot on comms, but when he did, he was very to the point, no nonsense type of guy. So after about 7 months in the corp, give or take, right? The leadership gets together and decides to offer him the position of being one of the main jump freighters, because at the time, our current pilot was having his first child, so he was going to take a break from the game for a while. Well, after much deliberation, he accepted. He's like, some time to think about it. It's a big position. It's a lot of responsibility. I don't know if I want all that, blah, 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 blah. And he pulled the wool over nicely, took the job. So did a couple of runs back and forth. And we had one Anshar at the time. That's all we had. We were working on a second one, right? That's how small we were. We didn't have multiple JFs, right? So on his third trip, he never returned. Went to HighSec with the only Anshar we had in nullsec and never returned. Full of ore to get sold on the market in HighSec. I took a big ass break. I probably took a 6-month break at that time. And that was, never saw him again anywhere. Didn't even log in. We had him on contacts and never saw him again. So I don't know what happened to the guy. But that hurt us. It's such a small corporation like that gutted us. The corp disbanded and people rage quit, and it was a whole lot of drama, and it was just absolute nightmare.
See, like go on, sorry.
I can almost guarantee he just transferred all that ISK, sold the ship, transferred it to an alternate account, and then logged off the account, never logged in again.
Exactly. 100%.
See, like there's scams, and then there's parts of the game that is okay, but I don't think that's okay. It might just be me being like a little bitch or whatever. But going into a small corp, it's true. But if going into a small corp and taking all they have in one go, that takes a real kind of person.
It's a very special human being to do that. Yeah.
Like,
it does depend on the small corp, though, because sometimes you do get these old veterans that have trillions of ISK, and they just form up a small corp, and they're just like just chilling in their retirement sort of thing, basking in their ISK, and they're rich as fuck, and they don't care. So a small corp doesn't necessarily mean, but yeah, definitely a small starting corp with like aspirations and early beginnings. Yeah, definitely.
But it's like when they turn around and say that, like, if you got, say that there's a newer player a couple of 6 months in. 6 months in EVE Online is a new player. Is up to like a certain amount of time is still a new player, and he's moving all of his stuff out of a station to move to another station because he wants to move away from where there's loads of people, and then he gets all of his stuff blown up. Because, like, how can you differentiate between a new player and a person carrying everything they have in a ship? You can't. So, like, or it again goes to the point where killing newer players does happen because they do stupid things like fill their entire ship with everything they own to move it all at once.
Yep.
But it's like, I don't know. It takes a real special kind of human being to do that.
But okay. So, sorry, I wasn't here for the whole previous scam, but was that translatable to Echoes?
Was that what yes. I would say that would be translatable to Echoes. But they don't have jump freighters. But if you had like a Tera full of some stuff, or if you had something or other, that your corp gave their only Tera to someone, and they said, right, can you bring all of these BPs to our station? That there could have been BPs in there for like pirate faction ships or whatever. They've been farming a load of stuff. They got a good rig BPs, and they're something that could fit in there. Say, right, bring this over to our spot over there. We're going to start making this stuff so we can really get into being a corp, and then it all goes. That would make people.
I'd be worried if you put blueprints in a Terror, but anyway.
Yeah. Right. But just like as an example, like I mean, you'd put blueprints in an interceptor or just a really fast frigate. You would never put it in a Tera unless you're like that guy who lost the Orca with 150 billion ISK worth of shit in it. Like, what was it? A couple of months ago, that poor guy. And it was only 150 billion ISK that, like, it was said on the kill mail that what he actually lost was hundreds and hundreds of billions of ISK. He had capital parts with 10-10 efficiency and capital ship blueprints. That shit was worth values. It was worth like 600, 700 billion by itself. Like, just like, I don't know, the Avatar Titan 1010, for example. Jesus Christ, how much would that be worth?
At least 100 million on its own. Just
it's insane.
I don't know. It's a long time since I've tried this.
For Hugh's question on if he thinks it would be like the rob from the rich kind of thing, I think it's important to humble players, because there have been points like where I had 4 trillion ISK and didn't check for a month that 70 billion went missing. Like, you gotta, sometimes reality needs to hit you and be like, hey, like,
you're
Memento Mori, motherfucker. You can be a slave too. You can run dry just like everybody else.
Very good point. Very, very good point.
You have to, there has to be a sort of a limit of the two ways to look at it. You have to be open enough in your corp or alliance to allow for newer players to join you, but you have to be like, you have to be looking enough to know when you're about to get fucked. But it's very hard to allow new people in and not get fucked sometimes. Especially if you're a bigger corp. Especially if someone's willing to put 2 or 3, 4 years of their life into a corp or alliance just to rob you. Like after 4 years' time. Which has happened. there was a guy who took a trillions of ISK out of a corp. Trillions of ISK out of a corp. In ships and ISK, everything. Like, it was a CO2, GigX. Got fucked out of that, didn't he? CO2 was the one who lost trillions of ISK. From the judge who stole it all and gave it to another corp, which is nice. Who is the Op 4S guy? The opposing force guy is Ode Doomsy, co-leader of opposing force. I will put names on there next time. No, I didn't.
Given us shiny names.
No, because I didn't have the time, man. I'm sorry. Sitting here talking shit for too long. Don't forget about the code theft. Code, like, and anything about code. Code is just, ugh.
Is it theft that they're just blowing you up because you haven't decided to pay them a insurance policy, I'm going to call it?
Well, they turn around, they scam a lot of people. Code do scam a lot of people, really. If you think about saying that we won't blow you up if you send us ISK.
I mean, have you guys seen the beauty of Phaser Inc. investment?
True.
That one. That was a true Ponzi. That man came in and was like, yeah, I'll return your money with a benefit. And it was like, Louis, just take this trillion disc back to my house and buy a capital. All these players were like, oh my God, this man's so amazing. CCP, you should endorse him. It'll be huge. And so they did. They were like, yeah, Bank of Eve, let's do it. And then this guy's like, okay, well, now I have $1 billion. What am I going to do? I'm going to go buy me a capital. I'm going to go stay on the sea. Someone come get me, huh? Here's a bounty. And he bountied himself. The man was like, I got a couple $100 million. Let me put a bounty on myself. And then he flew off into space and he waited for someone to come fuck with him. And then the guy sells his account for over $50,000 US.
He's sitting there like,
Exactly.
just some proper beard rubbing stuff going on there. That's fucked up. Jika, the reverse scam, that was something we actually talked a little bit about earlier. You know, when you get a load of, so you can invite a load of people into your corp, and this will happen a lot. So you have to be careful it's not always about the players joining corps. You got to be careful about what corps you're joining, because some of these corps will just put the tax up to 10-15%, say they're helping to build up to start an ore buyback scheme or an SRP scheme, and they'll just take everything that you've collected and all the taxes that you've made, and they'll start saying things like, guys, can you start giving some money into the corp wallet so we can buy this or buy that, and they'll start collecting more and more, because you can't see what's in the corp wallet if they don't want you to see what's in the corp wallet. They could tell you that there is 1 ISK in the corp wallet and you can't prove otherwise. There could be 200 billion ISK in there. And then after a few months of them like using you as slaves, basically, they kick everyone out of the corp and take all the money out of the corp wallet and then close the corp down. That happened a lot in EVE Online. A lot. It even still happens today. New corp start up, get new players in there, and then like it literally, EVE Online is just a game made for people to have fun destroying other people's lives. That's basically what EVE is. It's gonna happen. Every corp wallet can see the corp wallet.
Good.
Noticing that in EVE Echoes we don't have corp wallet visibility restrictions, so that won't happen.
That's shit.
Yep.
There was commenting on it. Hopefully they can fix that, because we need we need the ability to be able to hide the ultimate wallet so that we can keep a semblance. Because as much as you say that scam and everything, we don't really need every single person in the entire corporation to know exactly how much money the corporation has.
You could have a corp holding like a tune on one of your characters could be a corp wallet in itself, I guess. Actually, friend said that. Oh, look, there's Silpha. Silpha, you're never going to be an officer in any of our corps after that story, man. Just saying. Just not going to happen.
Sorry for a friend. Yes, I point you to the 8% tax that you're going to be charged on the contract to make it done.
Yeah.
So my next scam is a hauling scam.
Oh.
I got told about someone who they made a courier contract for high collateral and low-ish value, but not negligible value. It was one of those, like, you can't really tell because it's a bunch of BPCs, where they don't really have an actual value judgeable by the game itself. Realistically, it was worth nothing. But the collateral was like 100, 200 million, that sort of thing. And the guy picks it up in a cheap ship, like a heron or something, and he moves it. And as soon as he picks up the contract, the guy who made the contract, being online, knows, right, so he's going from there to there. That means he's going to pass through this 0.5 system. Cool. Sit there, wait for it. Cool. Right, he's there. Excellent. Blow him up. And, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you couldn't complete. Oh, I'm sorry. That collateral. Oh, that's terrible. On we go. Sets up the next one.
That's like, see, that scam would be highly translatable with the systems they have in EVE Echoes, with the hauling systems that they have. But
no, I disagree with that.
Does it?
Because the item has to have, because you can't set the collateral custom. It's the collateral is set by what the people think it is.
Yes.
Worth.
Yes, but you're still like, as long as you're making more money than you would off of, so you can use a load of, just because it's a faction loot, even though no one buys a certain kind of faction loot, you could fill an inventory of a hauler full of small artillery, for example, that no one uses because it's shite. Is it artillery that's shite, or is it the autocannons that were shit? Which one was the shit one, guys?
They're the same family. They're still
the 425s. They're using the 425s in Echo. I can't remember what it is. I think it's artillery. So anyway, if you fill that full of faction loot and the system says, right, it's worth this much money, even though it would never sell on the market, you could do it that way.
Yes, you could. I question if they ever have a product that is worth more in street value than it is on the Echoes, estimated value. Because I found the estimated values to be quite low, but I hate estimated values. I hate everything about them.
The estimated values are kind of broken, which causes a lot of issues and causes a lot of issues on the scamming front. And Il Braden, the YouTube video about the 4 billion is collateral. I used to have a friend in our corp who was he just liked a space truck. All he ever liked to do was to truck in space, and he'd pick up contracts. And he actually sat there with me one day. And I thought I'd be bored out of my mind listening to what he would go through when he was going through the contracts. But this guy was so good at spotting every single contract that was a dud. They'd have like wrappings upon wrappings upon wrappings on top of wrappings inside of a thing that's worth nothing, but the weight is massive. So like then they put a massive collateral on it, and then they just blow you up and take all the collateral, and then oh god, most of the time they're doing it for the kill board. But sometimes they can make a lot of money out of a jump freighter or a freighter in itself. Like they can make some serious money. And some haulers who are new to the game would never know. They'll just see a contract. Oh, look, I can carry that in my hold. Look at that. Oh, look how much that's worth. 100 million a jump. Fan-fucking-tastic. Let's go. And they're waiting for you just outside of the system. And they'll pick a system or a station in nullsec that's got only one entry into it. So you can't go around them. You'll just get blown up just before you get there. It's not very good. Oh, look at it. Silver's got another story about how he robbed someone. The trust is going down, my friend. The trust is going down. DG, you have a story, don't you, sir?
Yeah, it was. All right, so it's another long game one. So
long games.
I'll take you back in time to Hulk again. We all remember those days.
Oh yes.
That's going back. That makes me feel old.
Yeah. And this is probably the biggest break I took from Eve after this story. So we're again out in Null, just lowly renters, excuse me. And we had the corp, different corp, right? They had taken pride in all of their mining fleet. You know, they had worked very hard to get all of the ships that we had to. We had just standard procurers. We would take out almost every other day and just clean up what we could. So procurers were common. You see one on the field, you wouldn't think anything of it. And every once in a while, we would do we had 12 Hulks. So we would just never tell anybody when we were going to do it. We would not schedule it for the fear of losing them all. So a couple of months go by, nothing. And then the Directorate of Industrial Management at the time is like, let's go. We're going hulking. We're going to go kill all the belts, and then we're going to go to the large anomaly. Wonderful. So we kill all, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sight. I wish I was a content creator at the time, because that was some of the most glorious things I had ever seen. We went out, cleared all the belts. Beautiful. We had, I think it was about 15 people out. We had 12 Hulks, so there were a couple of procurers on the field. We had one hauler back and forth doing his thing. So we get to the large anomaly. We're sitting there for maybe about an hour and a half. And we notice one of the procurers stops mining. So we're all on comms, of course, obviously. TeamSpeak at the time. Okay, and that's Discord back in the day for all you youngins out there. So the FC pipes up. A pilot, and I'm not naming any names. It's all pilot. It's all generic, okay? Hey, pilot, you there? Is everything all right? No answer. 3 seconds later, the fucking Sino lights, and we lost all 12. All 12, and the Procure's on field. Just in an instant. Everybody was scrammed. Everybody was wet. Nobody could go anywhere. The comms went nuts. Everybody was. You want to talk about rage quitting? This is some next level. This is Eve, right? We've all seen the video. I quit for about 2 years after that. I was like, you know what? I had worked so hard. This is like similar to what happened in the other corp. I'm like, this is not for me. I'm like, fuck this game. I'm out. I'm not playing anymore. And I still talk to a couple of those guys, and that will never ever forget that day. It was a day that will live in infamy.
This is Eve. No, this is really Eve. That This Is Eve trailer sugarcoats the entire game. What Eve is just a giant Kleenex soaking up everyone's tears before they quit the game. That's what Eve is.
I can't help but go back to the don't fly what you can't afford to lose, though. If everyone rage quits because they lose one Hulk when they're in nullsec, I feel like you're in the wrong ships.
Yeah.
Well, like that was
still a good story with the Sino.
But we actually speaking of a different one, we actually got some guy who we knew was a spy, we knew he was in the corp, and we were feeding him really bad intel and blah blah blah, and we said we were going to go out on a mining op, and we took out 12 Rorks in nullsec, 12 Rorks, and we said we were going on the mining op, so we all went out there and blah blah blah. They took out we told this in just the corp chat, so we knew he knew, and then he was going to go tell his friends, and his friends was going to jump in. So when they jumped in, we had those 12 Rorks fit the hull tanks with newts on every fucking single slot, yeah? So when they sinoed in those dreadnoughts, we fucking killed them all. Mm-hmm. We killed all of the dreadnoughts, but they were like, yeah, we're killing these. We even played like we were miners. We had our mining drones out and everything, and we had people flying in and out. And then when they got us down to armor, they didn't realize that we had hull tanks, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna kill all these Rorks. This is gonna be great for our kill board. And they lost everything. I don't even remember how many dreadnoughts were there. That was one of my favorite moments in Eve. Just that one moment, and then he just got kicked afterwards, and we sent him a little thank you note. So he got fucked right at the end as well. Just a 12-minute uncut take of a bearded man making fun of homeless orphans. What is that even? What? Add more salt. I had a corp try to scam mine that was in a wormhole. They attacked us and took our tower into reinforcement. Then we would get a random mail from a player who seemed to be from a different corp. Offer their assistance for a fee. However, he was from the same corp, just trying to get extra AS before they take out the tower. That's dirty. People come out with some madness. That's
pretty standard.
Yeah, that's pretty but it's like people that come out with this stuff is I don't know how they do it sometimes. I don't know how they do it.
It's like holding your ship or your pod in nullsec and saying, billionaires, can you get your life back or whatever, get your ship, or rather you get to keep your ship. Billionaires transferred, ship blown up, carrying on.
Yeah. Because most people,
although Swede will rip me a new one saying, yes, but I was an honorable pirate when I ran some people. Yeah, not everyone was honorable.
No. There's an entire corp of cunts, really, that sit in high sec who are not honorable at all. Or what is worse, bumping into oblivion, or getting your ship killed?
You mean when you're being bumped in a freighter in high sec?
Yeah, off of a gate, and they just keep bumping you.
It's so frustrating.
Especially when you're in a bigger ship. They don't even try to kill you. They just bump you for days.
And they've got you locked so that you can't log out and have your ship disappear.
So you log out and you log back in, and you're just still getting bumped. That happened to a friend of mine for hours. Literally, code bumped him for hours because they didn't have enough people on to kill the freighter. So they just bumped him. They were just queuing him. So they just bumped him for hours. In the end, they gave up because obviously they just couldn't get... Because I think, how many people do you need? 20, 25 people to take out a freighter in ISEC?
In destroyers, something like that.
So like they just didn't have enough people on, so they just bumped him for hours, and he couldn't do anything about it. Nothing.
That's the beauty of Eve.
Didn't EO add some sort of auto warp timer to stop that finally? Not that I know of. I've had my Orca. That happened to me last year. My Orca was bumped until the whole rest of their corp turned up and killed me. It's like Orca trying to mature well until it gives up. It's true. It's true.
Can you use a mobile depot from a freighter? I can't remember.
What, to put your stuff in because it can't be killed?
To refit.
To refit? I don't know. I've never tried. I've never really used jump freighters or freighters in general. I haven't used freighters.
I can't remember. Too long ago.
I never went bigger than a blockade runner.
I'm just a miner. The biggest thing I run is a rock wall.
Oh, you know what? If
to
they
be
add
fair,
rock walls,
I mean,
if they add rock walls to Echoes, it's going to be the go-to battleship for me. I'm going to be using a battle rook, even if it's shit. I tried using Oracle though. I said that about the Oracle.
I still run battle orcas, and last I guess 2 weeks ago I beat a Tengu with a battle orca.
You guess it. Actually, like, trust Eisen to sound like David Attenborough. We actually, so myself and Eisenhorn are currently working on some ads for our corpse, where he's actually speaking exactly like David Attenborough, which is something that will be very cool to see later on. It'll be very, very, very good. He's very good at doing that voice. Really, really good.
So can anyone think of any new scams that are specific to Eve Echoes?
New ones?
Based on what we've seen so far. I mean, we haven't talked about this, I don't think. I was away for a bit. But the 3-step scam, local chat for contracts. I think you might have touched on it at the start of the stream, where they put up a local chat link to a contract.
Okay, yeah.
And then they put up, and so they put up 3 of them. There's the first one, second one, third one, and they're in very quick succession. The first 2 you can't access because they've already completed the contract, and they are for the correct item, for the correct value, as an appropriate item, appropriate value. Let's say Vexor Navy issue 89 million. And then the next one is the same thing, 89 million. And then the last one, which you can select, is 89 billion.
Yeah, 89 billion, and then someone who's gonna buy a Vexor has 89 billion sitting in their fucking wallet. That's just, well,
they're just going after the people who
who are complacent, or they're just like is mainly it gets done by people with 100plex, 100plex, or large skill injector, alpha skill injector. Is another one that happens quite a lot. So they have 1, 2, and then the third one down, and you'll just go, oh, that one's already gone. Shit, it's quick. Oh, the second. Oh, someone's already bought the second one as well. Go into the third one, and so like they get you to move quicker to make a mistake, so you don't even see it, and then you go, yeah, 800 million. I got it for cheaper than it is, and it's an alpha skill injector worth 50 million. It's like people know how to scam.
Going back to the example that I had though, the Vexor Navy issue will be 10 or 20 million below its market value. And what they'll do is they'll do it in sets of 3, 6, or 9 or something or other. And basically, when they do a set of 3, it'll be for a contract with, the decimal places off. Then the next one will be the decimal places off. And then the third one or whatever. Basically, they'll eventually do a legit contract for a legit Vexor Navy issue for the correct value. So they get people to buy them, and they get people to reward themselves with the correct and cheap ship. And then they'll intermix them, the good contracts, with the bad ones that are, so they're trying to train people to be quick off the mark, open the contract, check it, accept it, quick off the mark, open it, contract, check it, accept it.
Yeah.
So that they can do the same thing, but then fail to check it properly. So they're trying to get people to click quickly and then not be able to have the time because they want to accept the contract before someone else does. You can only really do it when there's a lot of people in local.
True enough. But if you try to do it in Jita, you've got to try and slip in a contract within the sea of Chinese letters. So it's like, I don't think it's going to be very In Jita, at least, I don't think it's going to be possible because they have they've already that I've noticed. I was reading the Chinese channel and some conversations. Sometimes when I'm sitting there and I'm trying to find out a little bit more information, but they already have things that auto send messages in local chat, so they can spam messages. But here's a big question: Will you allow scams in your corp? Will you allow it? Will you say it's okay for your players to scam other players?
No.
Without hesitation.
Yeah, without hesitation. It's like, nope.
Nope.
Nope. It's not going to happen.
It's not worth your reputation, and it's not worth the money. And if you can't make the ISK legitimately and be satisfied with that, you're not in the right corp for me.
Hairy
Well
muff.
said, sir. Well
Hairy
said.
muff. Well, we're my corp definitely not either, because we're actually going for the good guy type stuff. We're going to be anti-piracy. Our corp's going to be anti-piracy, so we're going to be going and finding the roadblocks. Like if someone's complaining in the Discord or whatever, oh, these pirates are sitting there, they've been sitting here for 6 hours, they're killing every ship that goes through, we'll form up and go and kill that gate camp. That's basically what we're going to... Our content will be collecting the tears from pirates. That's going to... The good guy corp.
Are you going to make a third-party program for a bounty system?
We actually... So the system that we were looking to do, because we haven't looked into any third-party stuff, but we're actually going to... Say, for instance, they have a pirate corp. There is a pirate corp who we know is a pirate corp, and they sit in low-sec gates and they kill people. They found a way to... They're killing a lot of people coming into our space. And if we find out which pirate corps are there, we're actually going to have a bounty system where we will pay players out of the corp wallet for any kill mails they give us of those associated corps, if they're pirate corps. So if you're a solo player and you enjoy PvP and you enjoy solo PvP and you join us, you will get paid for each kill on a pirate corp player. Now, this determined how much we'll be paying for that. It's something that will be in there a lot later. And Nina's probably going to bleed us dry anyway, just flying around killing off the entire galaxy. But can't ever have enough Ninas. We need more Ninas. We need to Nina, do you have a sister? Brothers, mums, dads, anyone? Just get the entire family on it. Oh, Silpha as well. But Silpha, you're a pirate. Are you okay with doing the anti-pirate stuff? That is the question.
Any pirate is happy to take down another pirate.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe he'll get a lot of stuff in there, actually. Sam's lost
no
souls here. Wherever the ISK leads me, the ISK will be there. The ISK will be there. Set up a Nina training camp. Sergeant Nina training recruits. You know what the funniest thing is? Nina's on the team that actually is going to be training new players into the PvE side of things and the PvP side of things as well. So, along with Crazy Swede, which is weird. Is he streaming? Because he's not in the chat.
He was earlier. He said a couple things.
And then Vanito. So if we are British, just train Silpha to be a privateer. There you go. Always coming out with those the history logic there. Feel sorry for everyone else. Well, there's going to be a lot of people. See, I feel that in Eve Echoes, pirating is going to be quite a large percentage of people. Sam's second one, there he goes. And there's going to be me and half. Zelda speaking on one side. There's going to be a larger percentage of people who are going to be pirating because of the platform that we are on. People on the mobile gaming platforms love to kill everyone. That's just what they love to do. And I'm not saying that what actually, now you're back, Doomsy. What were your will you allow your corp members or a corpse in your alliance to scam other people? Is that something that you're going to have a rule against or not?
As an official stance on Op Force, the Alliance, I might not scam you.
That's a light-hearted answer.
I'm not going to stop people from playing the game. I'm not going to tell a corp they can't play a game their way as long as it's honorable in some form or fashion. Now, if they're going around and they're scamming the galaxy and they're known as the scammers, that's a them problem. The moment that someone says Op Force is a scammer, that's where I'll set the record straight. Op Force as a whole is not going to be a scamming alliance, scamming corp. We're not going to focus on scamming. We're not going to have a policy to scam people. We're not going to have a policy to not scam people. Scamming is a person-by-person basis mission. It's one person saying, fuck that guy and that guy. It is not an alliance or a corp saying, ooh, let's just scam them as much as we can. So I'm not going to twist an entire corporation's arm and say, no, you cannot participate in anything less than honorable. You're a knight. You're a warden. You guard the galaxy. No. They're playing a game. They're going to have
Sovereign
fun.
states, guard the galaxy.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. Now, am I going to, like, if I find someone scamming and I see that they're being particularly toxic about it, would I pipe up? Yeah. I would say, like, I understand you're making money off this person. I understand that you're exercising initiative to take appropriate action against their absence of knowledge and experience in the game. Great. Whatever. You're teaching them in a way. But to make it toxic, that's where I draw the line.
What happens, for instance, if a group of your players decide to go and just scam one particular alliance, the alliance that Get is in, for example, and it could cause a massive war between yours and theirs? Would that be something that you'd put a stop to if you found out before they were doing it?
Yes, because the actions of one person that can be guarded by one person are okay, but the actions of one person that cannot be guarded by one person are not okay. If your actions spark something that requires the defense of hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of ISK to stop what you did when you could have just not done it, different ballgame. If what you do causes billions in damage to everyone else around you, that's toxic. You're actively taking the time and money investment away from players in your corporation and other corporations. It's the same as if someone hijacked a whole other corporation. That's not okay. That's toxic. It's one thing to say, hey, maybe I made an extra 100 million off this part that I shouldn't have. That's market manipulation, Veins. Like, whatever. That's okay. That is market manipulation. You're making a profit off of the lack of knowledge of others because they didn't do their due diligence in researching the actual price history of the object. That's on them. But if you're going and stealing an entire corporation's wallet, emptying their hangars, if you're stealing something from a small corporation who can't afford to rebuild, that is the exact opposite of scamming. You're not scamming. You're destroying people. And it's like, oh, it's just a game. Laugh it off. Yes, but you're talking about some people who have literally killed other people over Eve. So, like, for some people, this is not a game.
Spit his water all over the place.
Yeah, there are people who have committed murder over EVE Online and World of Warcraft. So, like, don't fuck around too much is what I'm saying. Like, have fun, make your buck. But don't be the guy who tears someone down.
There was the Asian guy that killed his best friend, like his best friend of his entire life, because he sold a one-time sword that he was given by his friend. Like, only one person in the game had that sword, and he went round his house and stabbed him to death because of that sword. That shit is like, woo! It's too much for me.
Sounds like karma.
Yeah, it does sound like karma, but we won't go into that because killing someone is never the right way to go.
That's a different talk show, okay?
Yeah. But the best scams are the ones where you don't know who scammed you.
Yeah, that's when you're like, where did my money go? It's like, so there's...
Or the best scams are the ones where they think you made the mistake, where you don't even know what happened.
Right now, the only scams that I'm seeing right now, obviously because the game's not even open yet, I'm seeing a whole lot of, like, corp manipulation scams between other corps. I've seen some people who are like, I've got people who are telling me this about your corp, and because of that, I don't want to be your friend. That's what's going on right now. Yeah, like, I don't want to set you to blue. I think we should be red. I'm not really sure if we should be friends. Like, I don't care. If you don't want to be my friend, don't be my fucking friend. Red me.
Exactly.
Whatever. Just stop manipulating me. Stop being like, I can't tell you because that would give away my source. I don't care. Fight me.
Fight me, bro.
That's the next EVE topic. How far is too far? Is the question. The current state of EESAM where we can't tell who takes items out of our hangars. That yeah. So, like, if you give someone,
that's a function of corpse theft, which we can't control. If someone wants to be a corpse thief, they can do so currently with impunity, and it's all on the directors to limit the access of players to the actual value of stuff, which kills a corpse widespread trust and gives you the inability to function as a well-oiled machine.
Slowly siphoning. Fuck me, learn to speak English. Slowly siphoning stuff will be rampant. Yes, it will be, and there'll be people that go into the. But the thing is, if you have access to that hangar, then you are free to take whatever the hell you want. unless that is specifically designated for industry, for example. So you have your whole industrial team that are working together to build ships for the Corp. You have that one hangar that's going to be used for that. And if, say, for instance, someone goes in there and takes all the data cores over a certain amount of time, or like, I suppose it could happen on every front, which is shit, because then you can't turn around and tell who's stolen everything, because you're not going to have one person having access to one hangar. It's just, there's nothing we can do.
You can create custom roles. You can create roles that have no bearing on the game at all except for hangar access. So you can create an industrial wing for members and a PvP wing for members and have the distribution of ore and items separated. You can do all kinds of things, but you cannot stop someone from taking as much as they want from a hangar that they have access to and knowing that they did it.
Yeah, Skippy, that's true. We do need a ledger for hangers. But who can you trust that you haven't met in real life? I trust Nina to kill me. I've never met Nina before, but I'll trust Nina. I trust Kelbeck. I trust Sam. I've never met him in real life. Trust DG. I trust all of my officers.
What are we talking about?
This is true. Well, this is, well, in the internet real life, everyone who's an officer in my corp and everyone who's a leader in my corp and who I've decided to align myself with, I trust all of them. Probably not a good idea. Silpha, I've known you longer than most people, and like you were one of the first people in my Discord. Literally. Like, I trust you, just not as far as I can throw you. He's a sturdy pencil. Woo, trust. See, Hugh Gasser loves to drink a lot of alcohol, but I still trust him because he's proven trust. He's sent me a lot of stuff. Huh? Guinness, yeah.
Guinness too. Don't forget that part.
Pencil writer. But isn't a lead writer just a pencil anyway? I do trust everyone. I trust everyone. But that's the way I've always been. I trust people to a certain extent until they fuck me over. That's pretty much always been my stance on things. I won't immediately hate you or not trust you just because you're a newer player, which is bad for EVE. Like, it really is, which is why I never led anything in EVE. I always was led by other people because I'd just be like, yeah, come and join my corp. Hey, let's go in a wormhole together. Here's a Nesta, 2 billion ISK, enjoy it, mate. And it'll just be some guy that's just like, he's sitting there not knowing what's going on and I'm giving him everything. Or some guy will come in, oh yeah, I know how to run a corp. And then I'll just be like, yeah, here you go, mate. There you go. Have access to the corp wallet. Enjoy. I trust everyone too much. Do you trust the weed? I don't trust the weed. I don't smoke weed. Mainly because it doesn't agree with me. I just don't trust anybody at first. I mean, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. If I even start to think of a possibility that it's a scam, it's because it's 99.9% going to be a scam. If I don't think it's a scam, it's probably just not a scam. I trust my gut. Usually I do trust my gut. But a lot of people do prove me wrong, especially in the EVE universe. A lot of people, I don't know, EVE attracts a certain kind of person. And then there's the rest of us who are normal human beings. And then there's just an abundance of serial killers that like to play the game. Like, it's just normal stuff. You and me, bro, high five. The people who volunteer immediately to be the CEO. See, that's what I love about our corp so far. Not one person has asked me to be an officer. Not one person has asked me to be in leadership. Not one person has asked me for access into certain things. Me, Kelbeck, and Nina have gone to everyone and asked them, after they've proven they can do some stuff, to take that position. No one's asked us for a single officer position, which is weird. For me, that's weird as hell. I'm normally getting DMs for days. Can I be an officer? Do you mind if I be an officer in this time? Do you mind if I be an officer in this time? It just hasn't happened. What's it like in Op Force? You must have fucking officers climbing out your ass.
We have a very large leadership tree. I will say that. More often than not, we have, like, I'm actually dealing with someone right now who messages me and he's like, hey, I applied. I got banned immediately. What's going on? And I talked to my recruiting department, which is made up of several officers and leaders. And I'm like, hey, what happened to this guy's application? He wants to know what's going on. And they were essentially like, brand new account, performed extremely advanced Discord functions in under 5 minutes, gave himself roles, immediately asked for leadership type stuff, immediately started like doing things that you wouldn't know immediately on Discord. So we banned him out of a concern of a spy. And it's that reason exactly why they're officers, because those guys can see things that like they do the due diligence, right? And we don't have a lot of people who are asking anymore, but we have a lot of people who are like, they do those kinds of things that make me like, you are my next officer.
It's definitely the way that it should be. You should be promoted through merit, but which is also another way that some people do scam their way to the top of a ladder by pretending to be a good, faithful, loyal person until they have access to your shit and rob you blind. So I've assumed I was going to be an officer like 2 weeks before I even became one. I just, mate, Hugh, you're going to be an officer. That's it. Like, yeah, okay, good job. And then I passed the name on to someone else, and that person made you an officer. Like, Sam's got the I trust you persona. Sov's got the, I don't know, maybe, should. I don't know. Like, I trust Doomsy not to fuck me over, but I wouldn't trust him in the way that he would never start a war with me, or he wouldn't fly into my system and kill everyone. But I'd trust him to not lie to me about it. There's just different levels of trust. He's going to go in, he's going to go and kill a load of people, and I'm going to say, what the fuck did you kill those people for? And you go, content. That's how it's going to be. It's that simple. But you can trust people like that. Just honest people. Doomsy seems like a man of his word. You may just not like it. Yeah, it's true. That's how I feel.
Truth hurts. A lot of people can't handle the truth.
I mean, I'll tell everyone directly that if I'm flying in a combat ship and you run into me in open space and I'm armed and you're not, ooh, a piece of candy.
Oh, a candy. Oh, a candy. Candy. Candy's everywhere. Nothing wrong with that. There isn't anything wrong with it.
If I'm not armed, I'm going to be like, Cold Runner!
if he's not armed, he's going to be sitting there like, oh, my mining lasers won't turn off. I can't warp fast enough.
Please, I'm an orphan. I have no parents.
See, I usually even what the fuck? I just realized what he said. I have no parents. No, but like when it comes to even in my Eve career, I don't shoot unless shot at. But I think that's just like I think that's what the military drill into you. The military drill that shit into you from an early start. You don't shoot. And you don't shoot unless fired upon. Like, it's always, you don't fire upon someone else until you've already been fired upon. I don't know if that's the same in the US. In the UK, that's the only, you have to live by those rules. You cannot fire first. If it's proven that you fired first, court-martial. You cannot fire unless fired upon. I don't know, is it the same in the US? Unlikely that would reduce their content. No, it wouldn't.
We have a few rules of engagement is what they're called, and it varies entirely dependent on who is considered to be the threat in the situation. There's a lot of situations where it's like, not blue, shoot it. And there's some situations where it's like, well, you know, they're mostly civilians, so if they fire on you, like, you give them a warning shot, maybe yell a few times, say stop. And if they keep doing it, well, I mean, they kind of asked for that Hellfire missile.
True. Tell that to Bloody Sunday. Yeah, but Bloody Sunday was a long time ago, and it was also not as clear cut as a lot of people in history make it out to be. People just think a load of English troops went in there and killed everyone for no reason. Like, that's not how it went down. Also, so Hugasa is actually part of my corp, and they're wondering, is opposing force going to be bluing people outside of their alliance, or are they going to be, as you said before, not going to be the blue donut?
Op Force specifically is not blue, shoot it. I mean, if you're not in our alliance or your content, I'm not gonna bully people. But if you're flying in my space, your content, you came asking for it. If you see Op Force everywhere and you're by yourself, you're asking for it. But I'm not going to go into someone else's system that I don't know and have no problem with and go shoot them for no reason. I'm not going to cause a war where it's not necessary. But I am absolutely supporting my guys going and getting content, because I get it. You're working for your stuff. It's time investment. It's money investment. It's work. I got that. But it's also an investment for a reason. My PvPers are investing for content. They're not investing to watch you make your new ship.
Truth be told.
It's just the honesty, and he just says it with such a straight fucking face. He's like, this is how it fucking is. If you don't like it, fuck you.
I mean, if you don't like it, shoot me. Then I'm your content.
So because we've been speaking to certain people there's certain corps within OpForce who have approached us and asked us for blue status, but you guys, I'm pretty sure, don't do that as a whole in the alliance. Is it okay for corps to do it by corp basis?
Yeah. If I have, let's just say, one of my corps that says, hey, we're friendly with those guys. As a matter of fact, we have this exact situation going on right now. Git/Gen is friends with some people in our corporation alliance, some corporations in our alliance, some members of corporations in our alliance, but they're not necessarily friends with all of us. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Mama does not like me or Fen. 85% sure. I've been told that we're red to them right now. That doesn't mean if I see one of them, I'm going to shoot them. Someone else on my alliance might. I personally have no ill will. I don't care. They're just another corporation, another flyer, pilot, whatever. So if they're in my space, I mean, content. But if I see them just in open dead space nullsec, I'm not going to hunt them down just because they don't like me. And I'm not going to hunt them down just because another corporation in my alliance doesn't like them. If they threaten me, if they in any way make me feel like I need to defend myself, I'll defend myself to the point of getting away from them because I know what a Sino looks like and I'm not going to wait for one.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I suppose that's the difference between, so if, for instance, if someone has shown animosity towards my corp and someone has shown aggression towards my corp and they continually show aggression to my corp, if I see anyone in that corp, I'm killing them. Whether they're good, bad, or neutral, they're just getting murdered. So if, for instance, Get comes into your systems all the time and they kill loads of people over and over again, if I run into them, they're going to die.
If I was getting reports that hey, Jen's been coming in and just blowing up our miners, at that point I'd probably form a fleet, find some. But if I was told hey, Jen blew up my orca, I'm sad, you should do something, I'd be like, who's your alliance? Oh, I'm your alliance. Who's your corp? Oh, I'm not your corp. Why are you asking me? Talk to your corp. I exist to facilitate the existence of your corp. Your corp exists to facilitate the existence of your ship. Now, if your corp is being beaten up by Gen/Get, and an entire alliance is beating up one of my corps, then your corp comes to the alliance and says, hey, we're being bullied by this larger force, and we're asking for assistance from our larger force. That's when I come in.
Do you think there's going to be a major war between yourselves and Get Gen? Because they seem like they're on the same playing field as yourselves, at the higher end of the spectrum. My corp, only being the smaller corp that it is, with a lot of newer players, couldn't fight OpForce, for example, if they had to. But I feel like Get and Gen could be a big old fight there.
Because of the nature of the discretion involved in intel, I can't say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Cool. No worries. I just wanted you to say, yeah, we're going to war with them, and they'll be like, yes, I'm going to fucking record this. Content!
I recommend you exist somewhere with a camera.
True. True. Kelbeck, if we had to, we would. Yeah, if for instance, if there was out of the hat, if we got into a war with OpForce, so of course we'd fight them, we'd try to, but it's the overwhelming numbers, for example, would be very difficult. Numbers do mean a lot in EVE in general, not just skill. You can have 10 really skilled players go against 50 shit, but you can't have 10 really skilled players go against 600 really shit players. It's just not going to work. If we had to, we would. Hence the learning experience. Yeah, the learning experience would be rough. If you're going up against a larger fleet than yourselves, just warp out. You don't need to fight it. People will say, "Oh, you're just a pussy. You just deny them content. You deny them content, they'll give up and move on to someone else." It's easy as. It's a shit way of doing it, granted, but it works.
That depends if you have any structures at the end of it.
It's true, but for instance, if you are based in an area, because we now know that there's going to be, unless they get rid of them, there's NPC stations in nullsec. You don't even have to build the stations anymore until sovereignty. So you can just sit in NPC stations all the time. Because they haven't told me whether yes or no there will be stations or there won't be stations. I've even heard now that there's ITCs in the regions of nullsec. So what?
In the regions that have NPC space, yeah.
Yeah. But that pretty much is all of them now. It's in Eve Echoes, it's nearly all of the regions.
No, it's only about 5, maybe 6.
Which
Great
one doesn't
Wildlands,
have it?
Germinate, Venal, Outer Ring, Delve, Fountain, Curse. So that's what, 7?
I'm certain Op Force will have combat day 1, of course, because you're a big target. Like it's just gonna happen. It's inevitable. The smaller
I'm 100%. I'm 100% certain there's going to be many screenshots of my ass running from a fight and be like, Doomsy's a pussy. Tactical retreat. I'll be back.
I never fall for the "you're a pussy, come and fight me" thing. That's such a childish thing to say, and like it's a childish way of thinking. Fuck, man, who's winning?
Yeah.
I get away and you waste hours of your life trying to chase me. Who fucking wins? I win. You just wasted your time.
They're over here like, I'm going to attack his ego. Joke's on you. My wife attacks it every day. You're behind by 6 years.
Oh god, if anyone knows me, they know I already get beaten by the chancler daily, so flip-flops be flying. They got the he wasted his time. You got a cool escape story. Yeah, like it's just I don't understand it. I actually have a couple more little stories before on the scamming front. I have one from Hero Corrido, which was a year ago, so he doesn't really remember how much he earned on this. There was this guy in local chat trying to sell a set of snake implants. He had a buy order on individual implants a couple of systems away. This is one we talked about earlier. He saw it was a scam, so started negotiating prices to stall the man he was trying to buy from. So with his alt, he went to Jita and he's got the same set for a much lower price. And while he was talking to the guy, making sure that he was continuing to keep it on the system, he flew with his alt to the system where the buy orders were, because he bought them from a character that wasn't him and sold them for a massive profit. So he anti-scammed the scammer, like he scammed the scammer. That is very, very good. Very good. I like that a lot. I've not seen many people do that, and I haven't thought about it. I just see a scam and leave it. I don't really think about scamming the person back again. Respect the flip-flop. Yeah, never aggro the wife. 100%. My wife aggro beats me up in real life. Ended my stream an hour and a half early. You don't aggro the wife aggros you. He pulled out the pro gamer move. Yeah, like
I was midstream.
You were midstream and she started beating you up?
No, I was midstream last night and she was just having like a hard time with the kids and I could tell she was getting frustrated. And I was like, I foresee aggro coming my way over the stream. So I was like, look guys, I'm gonna clip it right here. Sorry. Write me a love letter if you want to, but I'm gonna go handle IRL right now. And so I closed the stream.
But you actually get brownie points for closing the stream for her as well. So there's bonuses there.
Oh yeah, someone was like, you're such a good husband. I'm like, no, I'm a scared man. That's what I am.
I'm a scared man.
I never pull out. What the fuck, chica, man? What the fuck? Good partner and dad. Yeah, it is good. But we do it for like not completely like unselfish reasons. We do have reasons why we do certain things for our loved ones. Oh, actually, we have Jika Forza. Did I say that correct? Please tell me I said that correct. Did I say it correct? Where's the chat? Did he say it? I've got his story here. So this is an accidental scam where he actually scammed someone accidentally. Accidentally scammed someone. So I scammed someone. Accidental scam. So I scammed someone for a basilisk back in 2000. Yeah. Just no doubt in there. Back in 2010, you were able to create a contract asking for an item and also the money. Is that not a thing anymore? Did they take that out of you?
They definitely still do that.
I don't know. I have no idea. I've never even tried. I don't even use contracts unless I'm buying blueprints. So now you get an error. So you get an error now when you try to do it. You can't ask for something without giving something else in return. It all started as a mistake, like all stories. I had built 3 basilisks, was looking to sell them, but the market price was like, you do the 0.01 isking where you just you have to sit there all day just banging in the different amounts of isk, and it's nutty sometimes. And it was just too much for him to sit online and just switch prices. So he went to Jita and started spamming local, want to sell 3 times basilisk, got 1 PM, I want 1. So overly excited with my success, I quickly created a contract, and the dude accepted it, only to reply, "Hey wise guy, you scammed me." And he was like, what the fuck? Well, I didn't scam anyone, I just sold you the basilisk that you wanted. And so now, like, he was a ferry guy, received an order and was hauling stuff for an alliance. So this is haulers that get sent to go buy a shopping list for another alliance, and they go and they take it to that alliance. So he turns out he already had 4 basilisks and needed 1 more, but the market price was exceeding his budget. So now he paid the basilisk price to me. And now he had 3 basilisks left, because in my hurry he added give me money and give me item without anything in return. So he, instead of like he gives him the 3 basilisks, you give him the money, he got 3 basilisks and the money, and he took that off of the guy. So now he paid the basilisk price to me, and now he had 3 basilisks left, because in my hurry I added give me the money and give me the item with nothing in return. The contract would have failed if he did not have the basilisk in his inventory already. So like it wouldn't have been able to scam him any other way. It was just something that just happened. So obviously Jika, being the good guy, fixed it and gave them back, and like gave him the ones that he paid for, which I don't think is 100% true. I think you're just saying that now. What do you think, Jika? Huh? Did you do it? The odds of that happening is almost non-existent, man. Like almost non-existent.
Because not only that, you have to have not got into the ship or fit it or anything.
Yeah. It's just like there's so many variables, man. It's just like, how do you manage that? Jesus Christ on a bike. Do we have any other stories on the team here? Because we're cutting it close to the 2-hour mark.
I don't know if we hit mine with the container.
Go for it. Go for yours with the container.
I just started EVE. I was maybe a year deep. I was still discovering a lot of things about the game, and I was also 14, I think. I was young. I was playing the game, trying to get some Plex. I had a couple billion, so I just wanted to buy the Plex as cheap as possible so I could stretch it for as long as possible. And someone was in the chat like, hey, I'm trying to get rid of these Plex. I'm quitting the game. 480 million for a Plex. I was like, all right, cool. So I checked the contract and went to the info of the item. I did the due diligence that I normally did, where I make sure that the item is actually what it is and not just titled something else. It had the Plex icon, it had the Plex name, the item type was Plex Pilot Goods and Services. It made sense. I purchased it, I gave him the 480 something million, and then I get the Plex. And I go and look at the Plex and I try and apply it, and it's like, there's no apply to account button. I'm like right clicking, trying to figure out like what the hell? Go to item type, and it was a container that he had somehow changed the icon of, and the name of, and the item type of. Don't know how he did it. I can't recreate it. But I purchased a container named Plex for 480 million.
Was it a picture that he sent you, or was it an actual contract?
It was an actual contract.
There was a point in EVE Online where you could actually change the icons of items. At one point, there was actually a time you could do that shit.
It was 2007, so it was a long time ago.
It was actually used as a function for people to actually scam people. CCP have always bred scamming in their game. They always have from the very beginning. They even made mechanics to scam people. And it just built a very, very weird. Oh, thank you for the follow, Fluffy. Thank you for the follow, Silpho. You should have followed me ages ago. How long you've been my patron for like 4 months, and you've just started following me now. Epico1982, thank you for the follow, and Goodale, thank you for the follow. Digis,
no solve at all.
No solve at all. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Gutted. You could actually look. Fren actually said it could be possible to construct such a situation. Spam local with wanting to sell X things, buy in bulk and get a big discount. Instead of doing the contract for all the items at once, do them one at a time. For the last one, have the contract return the items to you. That is dirty. That is dirty. My cuz told me to follow you. Who's your cousin? Who's your cousin, Fluffy1212? Thank you for the follow, Ice Foulnax.
Before it's Nina.
Yeah, Nina's just invited her cousin in, so now like everyone's gonna jump on it. Glad I could help.
Hey,
That is like
what you wanted.
why the hell is fresh hair censored? Fresh hair? Fresh air censored, what? What are you talking about? Oh, no problem. I'm not going to say it, but I'm a follower of Recos. Nice one. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Fresh air. Fresh air. No, it's not. What are you talking about? 420's post. What was the content of the container? There was nothing in the container. It was just the container itself. You could change the image of the container so you could better do like can't think of the word. Sam, help me out here. So you can make it look and easier to find items. Can't think of the word.
No.
Oh.
You mean partitioning?
Yeah, so you can it's easier to find certain things. You could change the image of the container to an item so you could have it there. Yeah, sorting. You can better sort it. Just checking if fresh air is censored or not. It's weird. Why would you check if fresh air is censored? Fish air?
Random.
This is some random ass shit.
Yeah.
Right, so we're actually cutting it very close to the end. Is there any other stories anyone wants to say? I think I have one more. If anyone else has a story. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm fresh out.
Fresh out?
Yeah, my two were good enough for me. I stayed clear and made sure not to get scammed again, where applicable, obviously.
Where applicable. Oh, my scam was just easy. Someone put up a load of contracts in. I put up a massive contract full of BPOs. I was looking for. I spent months looking for someone who might be quitting, or because even though there's fire sales and they are scams, there are certain times where you find someone who's just looking to liquidate all their stuff and then sell the ISK RMT. Like it happened quite a lot back in the day. So like I was looking for a big old hauler, an industrial player who had a lot of contracts, and he had. I found one that was 10 billion ISK, and it had a lot of BPOs in there. So I bought up all these. I bought this contract thinking that it was this is actually quite nice. I had shitloads of money. I didn't care. I was a wormholer. I was just looking to get into doing some industrial stuff. So the amount of money never mattered. And then it went from, I went to start checking it out. And as I said earlier with the 1010s, you have the 10 efficiency for materials and the time efficiency. So each blueprint on the top of the list would have 1010, and the one underneath it will have 1010, and the one underneath that will have 1010, but then it'll have another 5 of the same, which would be 11. So I actually spent 10 billion ISK on what was probably 2 to 3 billion ISK and wasted 7 billion ISK. Now, for a normal player, that probably would be quite a lot. But I had many years of collecting enough ISK to not actually care. I could fly. I used to fly 4 billion ISK paladins out and roam with them and just kill it for shits and giggles. Like, it didn't really need it.
I actually have a really terrible story that was actually streamed like 2 weeks ago.
Oh god, what'd you do?
It wasn't a scam. It was just a terrible, poor moment of judgment. Anyone who watched it who's in the chat will know exactly what I'm talking about. I was streaming EVE Online. I was flying a 1 billion fit Tengu, a 1 billion fit Orca, and 2 500-ish million fit Hulks, a 4-box. And I was flying around just looking for a fight. I was trying to bait people to attack my Orca with the cloaked Tengu watching. No one would, so I'm flying around through systems, and I see one that says it has a Triglavian invasion. I'm like, oh, there's definitely people in here fighting the Triglavians. There's always people fighting the Triglavians. I'll just go in and I'll just get some cool shots, fly through, and then go to the next system. I warp in, and there's nobody there. Nobody. The Triglavians have taken over the system. It's empty. I try and leave, and I get pointed, painted, targeted, warp scrammed, webbed by every single Triglavian, and I lose 4 billion ISK in about 3 minutes. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go ahead and close the stream on EVE now because I'm not rebuilding these ships at the moment. We're going to go play something else.
Now that's content.
That is... I mean, like, you just can't write that shit. It just happens, man. I remember when the Triglavians first came out. Oh.
I've beaten the Triglavians by myself before with like a 7-box. I just went in with a bunch of fleet ships and just smashed them, and it wasn't that bad. These guys destroyed my Tengu like in under 14 to 15 seconds, and he was hard armor. This guy had like 900 damage and like 13,000 HP. He was ready for like a good 1v1 fight, but there was like 90 of these bastards, and it was over pretty quick.
I do enjoy that about Eve.
I shouldn't laugh. That's fucked up, man. I'm fucking
great content.
I enjoy that they have created NPCs that actually rival people to the point where they're not pushovers anymore.
It's true. Like when the Triglavians first came out, I was keeping an eye on the kill mails just to have a look at the PvE kill mails, and people were losing their rattlesnakes were getting blown out of the sky. Everyone thought the rattlesnakes were the god of all PvE ships. They were flying them out to the trigs and realizing, obviously, when the Triglavian invasions came out, drones took a massive nerf only in the Triglavian invasion spaces, so that they would lose 60% effectiveness on a drone. So your gecko didn't do fuck all to the trigs, and then you just get the geckos killed, and then your people were getting pointed out and murdered. No one even knew that that they had these, but they had like stupidly long range points and everything. Like, man, when those came, I'm not looking forward to that. If that comes into Echoes, that's going to be a clusterfuck.
But it's going to be great. It's going to have something that everyone's going to unify up against.
Yeah.
If it remains true, trigs are going away for good. We'll see. They're getting removed from EVE Online. The Triglavian invasion is ending.
But why are they getting removed, though? I don't even get it.
I think they're trying to make way for Yanjung to come in to the EVE Online universe.
But they told her, like, CCP have mentioned to me that it's going to be a Echoes exclusive, but then there's been things that they've said to me that isn't this. I don't even know. I've been told what's the one thing, but we'll see what happens. It's very weird. I hope they don't keep the Edencom ships are hated. The trigs are amazing. I love the trig ships. Can you imagine a Dead Space trig rats damage? No, thank you fucking very much. Fully spooled? No, thank you. Keep that shit and just keep it in your mind, Nina. I don't want that. I love the trig ships. I love the strategies you can come up with trig ships. Like Edencom ships are shite. I love running around with 8 Leshaks and structure bashing with 4 Nesters as my Logi ships. Like, they just had so much fun doing that stuff. It was just
what
really
I would
good.
love, it would bring me so much joy and I think content to the game. I would love it if they would bring some kind of like sovereignty ownership over certain areas like Caldari, Amar, Minmatar, that you can take over as a corporation and host your corporation within this, say, mega structure, and people can fight you for control of it, so that there's a reason to go to war and there's a reason to be the strongest PvP alliance, so people can like fight over the structure that gives their corporation some kind of bonus, but can be taken if someone say takes over the structure.
You just described faction warfare.
Factional, yeah, but factional warfare is a little bit more than just the one station of low sec.
Yeah, I'm talking like you take a station that gives you King of the Hill of that area of space. Like your name gets plastered across Caldari space because you own the Caldari substation per se, or an area, even a region, and giving you that pocket that would allow for you to have a reason to be attacked. Because faction warfare has its bonuses in EVE Online, but I haven't heard yet, is faction warfare making its way to EVE Echoes officially? No.
They haven't mentioned anything about that. And there needs to be a different way that they do that, because factional warfare isn't exactly the... they had, an entire year or 8 months, I think it was, of all of the factional warfare corps going on strike. Because they wanted it changed. Like, they all went on strike. And it was just at a time where we were actually going to start trying to do some factional warfare as content when EVE Echoes first went down in January. We were going to go do some factional warfare to have some fun with the corp and stuff like that, and it just went to shit. Like, here we go.
The players go on strike. So EVE Online strike.
EVE Online, they go on strike. Like, what the hell? Do you know about the Chinese shard of EVE Online? Do you know how they work together over there? They have only the wars for good sports. Other than that, everybody's working like a beehive. Yes, I actually have followed a lot of the Serenity server. Actually, a lot of the old fights and the wars, and they were very active over there, and they won a lot of wars. Like, you could probably name... People think the largest war was on the Tranquility server. It's never been there. There's been every single war on the Tranquility server is pales in comparison to PIBC wars. Pales. The largest fight ever known in EVE history is on the Serenity server, not on the Tranquility server. Like they are a bloodthirsty bunch, but if for instance, for example, the West rise up and all fight together, they will all fight together and they will do it quickly and they will learn quickly and they will fuck us up. Like, it's just inevitable. They're just culturally they're better than we are at that. We would still be fighting together with cogs ticking in our heads saying, what can I get out of this? Whereas the Chinese will say, well, what we're getting out of this is actually just killing all the Westerners. That's all they want. Good times. Because nothing, they did have any effect. Sorry?
What are we going to do next week?
Next week, we're going to be going over the skill planner. We're going to be going everything to do with the skill planner. We do have an announcement today. I think this is going to be... We'll do this announcement in corp-wise. So if you're in sovereign states or if you're in any of friendly or blah, 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 will be an announcement today in the Discord later on after we have our meeting today. Next week, we're going to be going over the skill planner. We're going to be talking about how you can start off in the game very early, and we give you a direction you need to go with what skills you should pick. You can deviate, but we'll help you from going from being a 0 to a hero. That's basically what we're going to be doing next week. We'll have Eisenhorn on the channel, I believe. Mr. Eisenhorn, is that true? Mr. Attenborough?
We're also going to be doing optimal strategies for payment structures and how you might want to, whether you want to sit and bank a character or go all in on day one, how you might want to go about spreading your accounts over multiple, characters over multiple accounts or consolidate them all to one, stuff like that.
So yeah, the different strategies, whether you can, so for instance, you'll have one character who's cog 3, a mega combo, and you'll have 4 other accounts that have just the first level of a mega. As an example, like depending on how much money that you have, how much you can spend a month, and we'll give you the best, what is actually the best way of doing it for certain pay scales. I guess it would be pay scales, right?
Yeah, and things like describing how important it is for how you want to keep up with PvP and PvE in terms of tick milestones, and how other skilling paths don't care so much about it, like resource reprocessing.
Now we know exactly what's going to be going into the game, and we know what's going to be going on at launch, and we can now give you the information proper. We can give you the proper information that you need.
We think we know.
So we know that nothing's really going to change. We know that things are going to be fixed. And that's it. That's what they're really doing right now. So what we saw in the final test is pretty much what we're going to see in the launch, just better.
Live on stream, and we can have Sovereign eat his words.
Yes, probably. We'll see about that.
With that said, I may as well make the invite. It's already going to be global. Our website for OpForce goes live in about 4 weeks, and when it does, we're going to have an EVE wiki in the sense of EVE University that everyone can contribute to be moderated, or that to be verified by moderators for correct and accurate information. So for those content creators who are trying to create wiki things, our website will have all of that available. You can make your submissions, and then we can try and recreate what you're talking about to verify, and then put it up as an official, yes, this is true. So that's going to be for everybody.
Amazing.
Are you going to reference to and from the EVE wiki that we've...
Oh, Sam's gone.
Oh.
Are you going to be referencing...
I know he's probably asking about the other corporation that was doing an EVE wiki. He made a couple posts on Reddit. He made a couple posts on the... I think I invited him officially to OpForce. Like, hey, do you want to be like our wiki guys? We need more wiki guys. We need people who are going to be verifying this information. And he's like, no, I want my corp to remain neutral. I don't want to be a part of anything that could potentially go to war. I want to be like the Swedish land of wiki knowledge. So I guess technically he would be a competing wiki, which is his prerogative. I'm not going to fault his plans, but I did invite him. I did ask him to come be an authority on the wiki and do his thing on our tutorial land, but he didn't want to do it.
Finally, a place with my tutorials. So, like, for instance,
I was more referring to the sharing of information as opposed to the umbrella of alignment.
No, he said it's going to be completely open to everyone. It's going to be public, right? So everyone.
Yes, there will be. Naturally, there will be tiers. For example, my fleet doctrine is not going to be on the wiki. It's going to be on a totally different area, safe from all prying eyes. I know you're looking, Akira. With that said, there's the information that could be found by someone through playing the game that would be considered something useful to know to make you better at playing the game. That's going to be available. Videos made by our content creators that are designed to make you better at the game. That's going to be available. Things like ore charts that'll make you more efficient at being a miner and properly reprocessing and selling your things. That's going to be available. But things like how my corp works, not available. Things like how I manage my personnel, not available. Things like how we train, how we fight, not available.
I'll just watch your stream, mate. To be honest, I'll find out then.
All you're gonna see is me blowing up Triglavians.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, no, that's actually really cool. I did know that you guys were having some guides. I didn't realize you were doing the entire wiki. So, for instance, if I wanted to post a part of the wiki on there, I think the stream just went down. Did the stream go down?
It's still up for me, unless it's still lagging. It might go down in a few seconds. I'm waiting, but everyone says it's fine.
Nope. Trust in chat. Everything's fine.
Trust in chat. I'm not seeing the chat move or anything. Luke, maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's you who died.
Maybe I did die. Maybe I don't know what's going on. Maybe I don't know what's happening. Oh, there we go. We're back up again. Thank you very much. We're still there. We're still there. We're still there. Yeah, we're still there. Okay, so yeah, no, that was. I knew you guys were doing that, so I can, if I wanted to, I could, for instance, post a video of one of my guides onto the wiki to be verified, and you could maybe post that onto the website, or is it just written guides?
Joke's on you. All your videos are already going to be directly linked in. Anytime you go live, it will be featured on our webpage.
Motherfucker. my motherfucker. Fantastic. That's great. We got the so actually that's quite big news. That's quite big news. That's quite good. Sam, you actually have something as well that you're going to be what we're going to be releasing publicly. Are we going to be releasing anything publicly for everyone, or just for?
Yeah, our skill planner.
The skill planner will be released publicly. There is actually someone else who's working on one as well.
In time with the stream next weekend, we're going to link the skill planner so people can follow along as we do it, because it's going to be more of a tutorial style stream as opposed to a back and forth chat style stream next week.
Awesome source, and they've put a lot of work into that. A lot of people spent a lot of time in that beta just getting statistics for that shit. Now we do know as well that there is going to be there is Muffet, who's creating the app, who's also going to be sort of, I guess, that skill planner's rival, but it's on an app.
Separate entity. Yeah, it's like completely separate.
I don't see. App, yeah. The thing is, I don't see any work we're doing now as rival or competitive, simply because any work that we do, we need for our members now. We can't afford to wait for someone else to create a third-party app and might get it in time for our members to use. Fantastic. So, it's happy to collaborate, happy to work together, but ultimately we need it on our schedule, therefore we make it ourselves.
Right. So,
in the words of, go ahead. No, I was just saying, in the words of Elon Musk, if you have a design for a better bucket and the world is sinking, why save your bucket for yourself?
True.
Well said.
Big true, but this is Eve, man. You keep that shit to yourself. You let everyone else sink. No, I'm a massive advocate, which is why I never hide any information behind any of my videos. I don't hide information from anyone who's watching and keep it for our alliance, for our corp, for whatever. Like I'm open with all of the information that I give. I don't see there's any point. It just makes the game better, and it makes more people learn better, how to be better, and therefore stay in the game longer. It really does help when you are open to the community. It's just a good thing. Doomsy trying to save the world, Soft trying to hoard the chocolate. Why is it chocolate? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Right, so as we all know right now, Trimark is in open recruitment. Opposing Force is in open recruitment. Many different corps in there. I can't even tell you how many there are, and I can't tell you what their fucking names are because it's like 500 of them. So if you want to jump in, everyone put their links to their Discords in the chat. DG is one of mine, so thank you, DG. Sovereign States will be opening for recruitment again within the next week or so after we do some spring cleaning on the roster, because there's a lot who joined for the beta and then didn't like the game and left, so we have to do some other stuff in there. We have 3 spaces. We're going to be actually opening with another application form that you will have to fill in, and I'll put that on a video, so make sure to follow and sub on the Twitch channel and the YouTube for that.
Jokes on Alt Force, that'll be in the wiki.
Yeah. No, it won't be. It'll be before then. Right, so I want to thank everyone for coming. It has been a pleasure as always. Thank you, Doomsy. Thank you, DG. Thank you, Sam, for being on the channel. Make sure to spam your links in the actual Twitch, guys. Make sure you do that over and over again.
Doing it. I'm on it.
DG is a content creator himself as well, and he will be doing some sexy voiceovers for everyone.
Yes, RP incoming soon.
Make sure to subscribe. Okay, guys, everyone needs to fly safe and avoid local chat scams. Take it easy.
Cheers.